adventure, and I wanted to do this silly alphabet book next. I showed it to my editor at Simon & Schuster, Kevin Lewis, who's done all my books, and Kevin flipped through and said, you know, the alphabet book's good, but it's not quite right yet. You need something else. But I really, really love this character here, this giant, fat, pink rabbit thing. I want you to write a story about this giant, fat, pink rabbit thing. And so that is actually the genesis of where Ted came from. The characters in Ted were inspired a little bit by me and a little bit by my family, but I got to clear a couple of things up first. The father in Ted is not my dad, actually, although the boy in many ways is me. See, I was the oldest of three kids, and my mom stayed home with us and raised us all where we drew and did origami and did all kinds of cool stuff. And my dad had to work. He worked 5 days a week, usual job. Nights and weekends, he'd come and spend time with us. But he only had a little bit of time to do that, and so he tried to make it special. And one of the things I remember is I did get caught drawing on my walls in my bedroom when I was a kid. I got in a ton of trouble for doing it too, and I had to clean it all off. My mom made us clean it all off. But when my dad got home, he'd actually stopped by the grocery store and got butcher paper, that white butcher paper that they wrap meat up in. He'd gotten a whole roll of it, and he tacked it up on my walls in my bedroom and said, now you can draw on your walls. And that's how cool my dad was. So the dad in Ted is not my dad. I gotta let him off the hook. He's always like, they all think I'm a terrible father. It's not him. Actually, the dad in Ted in many ways is me, because I'm a workaholic. I love to work. I love making my books. I love the process of it. I love sharing my books with kids. And so I was worried that if I was to have children, that I'd be so obsessed with making my books, I'd never, spend time with my kids. Of course, that's not the case, but that fear was a real fear, and that's where I got the inspiration for the father of Ted. The little boy was definitely me as a kid. I was a quiet, kind of shy little kid with a real crazy creative mind. And Ted is kind of an extension of the little boy in me. He's kind of like the little devil guy on your shoulder. It's like, I've got a great idea. Let's make a swimming pool in your dad's study. That's totally where Ted came from. Or he's like your crazy uncle that gets to babysit you, and he's like, I got a great idea. Let's make a bike ramp on your roof. That's where Uncle Ted came from. So it all kind of came together once I kind of knew who these characters were, and the book started to come